giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom Newsleaders.
Welcome to Newsleaders. I'm James Mauser, and I'm going to show you the front of this calendar because this pertains to what we're talking about today. Duck stamps. And I've got a special guest over here who came all the way from Boonville to talk about it today. This is Tim Haller. Hi, Tim.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me on the show today.
I'm glad to have you here.
Just really want to talk about duck stamps in general. I am the Missouri Junior Duck Stamp Coordinator for the state of Missouri, but also this time of the year is when we celebrate the federal duck stamp. And the federal duck stamp has been around for 86 years this year, and it's just a phenomenal conservation program.
Why was it created in the first place?
Well, back in the 30s, Depression, things were, we had hard times, and wildlife were having hard times. And we had a creative Midwesterner that came up with this idea. He was kind of the director of the Fish and Wildlife Service at that time. And he said, well, why don't we develop this stamp that waterfowl hunters have to buy in order to hunt waterfowl? And he was kind of an artist. He didn't have much of a biology background, but he was a fantastic artist. He actually was more of a political cartoonist. That's really how he became famous. His name was Ding Darling. And he worked for the Des Moines Register and was more or less a reporter and a cartoonist, but was asked to become by President Roosevelt, become the director of the Bureau of Biological Services and designed this duck stamp in 1934, and it continues today.
I bet there was some grumbling though when they had to start buying duck stamps in order to hunt.
Yeah,
right?
Initially there was. I think people really respected the ability to hunt waterfowl and hunt in general, because at that time hunting probably was a means to supplement food. I'm sure a lot of people were struggling, and not only wildlife were struggling, but people were. I think people appreciated that they could hunt to be able to supplement their food, and it continues today. But as modern things evolve, I think we're losing hunters. We don't have as many hunters as there used to be. And I want to encourage people that, you don't have to be a hunter to buy a duck stamp. Duck stamps are for everybody, and they're for sale at post offices. And I encourage folks to consider, if you really want to help conservation, consider purchasing a duck stamp.
Are they more expensive than normal stamps?
They started out as $1. Now they're $25, and they are still required to hunt waterfowl. But 98 cents for every dollar that goes into that duck stamp goes to help setting aside land for conservation. So I really encourage folks that if they're interested in helping conservation, consider buying a duck stamp. Most of them are for sale at most post offices, and you can go online, just search duck stamp, and you can find ways to purchase it online if you prefer doing that. A little difficult with the pandemic to visit post offices,
yes,
but you can just purchase them online.
Okay, now that's a federal program, but this calendar I was showing, the junior program, right?
Yep, about 25 years ago, we came up with an idea. Actually, an art teacher came up with this idea. Why don't we do the federal duck stamp as a junior duck stamp? And fortunately, about almost 20 years ago, I became the Missouri Junior Duck Stamp Coordinator. And it's probably one of the funnest parts of my job is to be able to accept artwork from kids from all over the state of Missouri as they draw waterfowl. And it has to be the native waterfowl of North America. And so I get entries from all over the state. I just brought one in real quick here.
Just hold up this camera over here.
Beautiful chalk drawing of a wood duck, which is one of our most popular species. And this is from Remington Guide. She's out of Ellis Elementary School in Plattsburgh, Missouri. So I just wanted to bring in one of this simple duck stamp arts that I get every year. I usually get several hundred.
Because when you flip through this calendar, you see pieces of work in here that look like these people are natural artists and they have their own studio someplace.
Yeah.
But these are all kids.
Now, those are all the best of shows from all the 50 states. And luckily, Missouri has had 2 Best of Show winners that go on to compete with all the rest of the 50 states that won the national competition. So that's kind of fun that, I get to send my Best of Show winner on forward to compete against the rest of the 50 states. And Missouri has had the honor of winning twice.
That's wonderful. Tim, I could talk to you for half an hour more, but we got to get going. I want to have you come back, though. But for more information, people can go to, listen, your refuge is the Big Muddy National Fish and Wildlife Refuge in Boonville.
Correct.
That phone number is 660-672-2806.
Correct.
And people can email you if they want to at tim_Haller@fws.gov.
Correct.
All right. Will you come back and see me, Tim?
Will do. Thanks.
Good. Thank you so much, Tim Haller.
Thank you.